Okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to put this somewhere at the beginning of my video. As you can see, I have a different shirt on because it's being filmed after the end of the video. But this is unboxing from my sponsor, cubesfrompc.com. They're a very good US cube store. They have very quick shipping and also the cheapest prices in the US and free shipping on orders of, I think it's $15 or above. I don't know if they have a limit for the free shipping. Sorry, I should have done more research on that. But anyway, this is run by PuzzleCuber here on YouTube and also on Instagram. And she does a very good job of getting out orders quickly and for a very affordable price. For even better prices, you can use my discount code KSCuber, all one word. I'll make sure to put that down in the description so you can copy and paste it from there. And that'll give you 5% off your order from cubesfrompc.com. Okay, that's enough of that. On to the video unboxing. Okay, so I'm going to keep the autofocus on here until it becomes annoying if it does, but hopefully this camera will just focus correctly today. There are a lot of cubes in this box, so without further ado, let's just pull them off the off-screen box and get right into them. As you can see, first off here, we have a 2x2 Transform Pyraminx by LimCube, which I believe is the same company as Fengshi. I don't know why they changed their name exactly, but they make some interesting non-WCA puzzles, and I wanted to pick some of those up. First up, we have this very interesting puzzle, which, wow, I've been wanting one of these for a little while. Basically, this looks like a Pyraminx with another Pyraminx stuck right through it. I think Nathan Wilson actually made a mod of one of these a while back. And since then, I've been wanting to actually try and get one. When I saw that thing she actually made them, that is really cool. This is almost in the same family as something like an Alexander Star, which if you've seen one of those, basically it's a Megaminx, but it's a corners only Megaminx, I believe is what that would be called. And basically to be solved, this whole face has to be solved, and this is going to correspond to the next face. It's the same thing on the Alexander Star, except of course this one is like a Pyraminx. So as for turning, I really don't know how this thing turns, but I'm assuming from the name that it turns like a 2x2. So all in all, a very, very odd shape mod, a very cool looking shape mod for what it is. I'm not sure how well it's picking up in the camera there. I'm trying a new lighting setup. So let me know how that works. But anyway, that is what this is. And if I test turning here quickly, it turns extremely smooth. It's definitely not like magnetic or anything like that, obviously. But just as far as turning goes, it turns very, very well. It has this really interesting kind of look there, as you can see, as a 2x2 shape mod. And of course, also, the centers are rotatable too, so that adds an extra level of difficulty. It makes itself kind of like a, I don't know what you call it, like a 2x2, and then you solve the inner things like a 4x4. I'm not sure there'll be a parody on this or anything, but we'll try it out sometime. All in all, so far, I'm very impressed by these, and I definitely would recommend picking them up if you're a cube collector and like oddball non-WCA puzzles. That is really interesting, and I have more of them in the box, so let's get into those. Let me see if I can pick another one of the LimCube 2x2 transform thing. This is also marketed as a 2x2 transform Pyraminx, but I believe this is a different puzzle. As you can see, this was much smaller than anticipated it being. I thought they would both be about the same size, and then when I took this out of the box, I was like, wow, that thing is super, super tiny. Actually, I saw this here just a little while ago. So that's what I'm talking about there, like when I took them out of the box before. But anyway, this looks like another 2x2 shape mod, but with the turning centers, and this thing is in an odd color scheme here. I wonder what the solved state is. I assume maybe opposites, so purple, pink, white, yellow, blue, green, and red, orange. That's probably it. And then also these little tips can rotate, but they actually do have some function, unlike a Pyraminx. So all in all, that is a really interesting puzzle. And it knows my microphone wasn't recording, so now it is, and hopefully the audio is going to be a little bit better. Turning on this one is actually a little bit stiffer out of the box than the other one there, but still very, very good. Like, not stiff, like, I don't know, bad, but stiff, like it just needs to be loosened a little bit. So wow, that is a really interesting puzzle. I'll be curious to see how these can be solved later on. Very, very interesting. Okay, getting into the next one here, another LimCube box, another 2x2 Transform Pyraminx, according to the box. So let's pull this out of here and see exactly which one this is. If you couldn't tell, I got the full series of these. That actually resembles another cube that I have, which is called the Diancheng Blade, and it also, that turns like a Pyramorphix. Okay, so this is basically like a 2x2 Diancheng Blade, but with the extra turning pieces there. And wow, that's interesting. Are you actually going to get some sort of strange shapeshift in there? Yes, you are. Wow, these are going to be interesting to solve, to say the least. I'm not sure if they're going to be easy, and I assume they're not going to be easy. There we go. So that's really interesting. I'd relate this for sure to the Diancheng Blade cube and also the Pure Morphics. If you can solve Pure Morphics and you can also solve something like a Fisher Wheel of Time, I'd say this wouldn't be that big of a challenge, but this one's probably the most challenging out of the other ones I've unboxed so far, just because of those shape-shifting aspects and, of course, all the small pieces and trying to recognize pieces and all that. Very, very interesting. Cool for display, if nothing else. And all in all, just very good non-WCA puzzles. Wow, cool. Next up here, another LimCube, another 2x2 transform Pyraminx, but I think we should be used to that by now, and this one is actually normal sized, and looks like a Pyraminx. Well, that's cool. Okay, and since it's a 2x2, I'd assume, yeah, this is like a Pure Morphics, but it actually has these rotating centers as well. So my theory on this whole set is that it'll solve kind of like a Fisher Time Wheel, which would be a cube. Let me grab one here quickly. Basically, a Fisher Time Wheel is a Fisher cube with centers that solve like a 5x5. So I'm assuming that this is one step down from that. These are Fisher Time Wheels in a different, I mean, they're not Fisher, so they're time wheels that solve like a 2x2 and with a 4x4 center arrangement. So all in all, these are very, very interesting. I like how a couple are smaller and then a couple are more normal sized. And also how they're sort of a mix of puzzles that already existed and didn't exist before. All in all, wow, it's cool that these made it to mass production, and they really are some interesting non-WCA puzzles to add to your collection. Let me see if I can do a checkerboard on this real quick. I know how to do the Pure Morphics checkerboard, and that would be like that. That's pretty cool looking there. As you can see, it just switches all the centers, and that is the checkerboard for Pure Morphics. And if you rotate each of these centers 180 degrees, it would be considered probably a full checkerboard, but it also doesn't seem to be 100%. So that's kind of odd. I wonder if there's a better way to do that. I'll have to look into that. But anyway, there it is. This is one of the 4 LimCube 2x2 non-WCA transform puzzles. Since the release, I've been very excited to get these, and now that I finally have them, I'll be interested to see how they solve, and I'll definitely post some pictures and solves, if I actually solve them, to my Instagram, so go follow me over there at chaos_cuber. Okay, so I guess now that's out of the way, let's get into the rest of the box here. Should be some more Speed Cube type stuff, rather than all this. Let's deal with some Cyclone Boys puzzles here first. Sorry if my audio is going out, I'm moving away and back from the microphone. Okay, well I think that is all of the Cyclone Boys puzzles that I have here. As you can see, there actually are 2... Nope, never mind. They're all under the new Shaolin Popey naming. I don't know exactly what it is with Cyclone Boys and Shaolin Popey, but apparently that's the new naming scheme they're going to go with all their cubes. Or at least it's their new logo, if you can read below there. This is the tiled 2x2 and 3x3. I think it's a 3x3. That's an interesting name. Let's see if I can find it anywhere on the body. It's be interesting to go to cubing competitions and ask how you think that's pronounced. But I believe the 3x3 is called the Cyclone Boys Fei-Ku. Or Fei-Q, if you pronounce it like that. So that could be mispronounced in many different ways, and it's a very odd name for these cubes. But let's just get right into these here. I'm interested to see the mechanism and see how these turn all in all. I really haven't had a lot of tiled cubes since obviously like the Rubik's 2.0, and before that there were CubeSmith tiles that a lot of cubers used. First off, spring reverberation. That's the weird feeling you get with certain cubes like the Mario CX3, which I'd be interested to see now if this is sort of a similar mechanism to that. I doubt it, but it definitely has that spring reverberation, like just you can feel in your hands kind of reverberating when you turn it. And first impressions, first turns, this is a very loud cube. But all in all, it feels pretty smooth. I'm going to test corner cutting here. Corner cutting is about 45, normal, and not much reverse. This is really interesting here. It feels similar to their magnetic cube, but not exactly. I believe looking at it here, this is a Moyu copy mechanism. Somebody can take a look at this and confirm in the comments what mechanism you think that is a copy of. It looks Moyu-esque, but I'm not exactly sure, especially with that weird little hole in the bottom of the corner piece there. As you can see, there is the centerpiece right there. It also has that sort of lip that Moyu cubes tend to have. So all in all, actually, I mean, for a budget cube, it's not bad. And of course, with the tiles, you're not going to be, I don't know, peeling off the stickers or having sticker issues anytime soon. Out of the box, it's way better than like a Rubik's 2.0, and I definitely recommend this over that cube, which also has the tiles, which is why I'm comparing it. It is definitely a bit smaller in size. Let me see if I can get a comparison here. I believe it's about 55.5 millimeters, which is kind of odd. I mean, that's more of the normal size these days. But it's definitely a bit smaller than I like with my cubes. Let me just quickly do a scramble of this here and try to solve it. And so far, it feels a bit unstable. I also note that, but I mean, that's just kind of the Cyclone Boys way. Noisy, unstable, and pretty fast. So I don't know. It's not my favorite cube from them, but it's also not horrible. It's not going to be anybody's main, but I think for a budget cube, it's not too bad. Okay, let's just get into solve here. Try to do, I don't know if that's called an X-cross or what, when you put in the F2L before you're done solving the cross. I don't know. I do that sometimes. It usually doesn't work out that well to my advantage. But anyway, so far, I mean, it's not bad, but it's also not great. So if you want a tiled cube, if you don't want to get a QJ tiled or a Rubik's 2.0, this is probably your best bet, but it's also not going to replace any top speed cubes on the market. Interesting cube, but nothing spectacular. Okay, next up here, I don't remember what this one's called, but this is the Shaolin Popey / Cyclone Boys tiled 2x2. So let's get this out of here. I might put the name up on the screen if I see it there. And I'm curious to see what mechanism this is right here, or what mechanism it parodies. And it looks something like maybe like a Moyu Limpo? Is that correct? I don't know 2x2 mechanisms that well, but wow, actually first out of the box impressions, this is better than the old school Cyclone Boys 2x2s that I've tried before. Let's quickly scramble this up and give it a quick solve. But the tiles on this one actually are more, I don't know, interesting than on the 3x3 in my opinion. And I think that people might actually use this as their main, at least as a budget cube. Not really fast cubers, but just kind of average cubers might use this as their main. It's not bad, actually. I'm pretty impressed with the tiles. Obviously, you won't get the stickers wearing off. So all in all, I'd say I definitely recommend this a lot more than the 3x3. If you want to get the 3x3, you'd have to be, I don't know exactly, maybe just a more durable cube to use. I don't think it's a great cube for speed cubing. The 2x2, on the other hand, I think this is actually pretty good. Let me check the corner cutting real quick. First off, it's on very, very loose tension, so I have to watch if it's going to pop or not. But on most sides, it'll corner cut about 45 degrees, and reverse cuts just a little bit. So all in all, not too bad. Not too shabby from Cyclone Boys. The shades are kind of odd. The green, if you can see it here, is very neon. Yellow is very neon. The blue is dark, but it's also pretty shiny. The orange is kind of a weird shade. And the red's pretty normal. So I don't know, dark, red, and blue, neon, orange, yellow, and green. So I don't know if you're going to like the shades or not, but there they are. Last but not least, let's get into the Shaolin Popey. As you can see it fully sized there. Shaolin Popey, competition quality, Mega Minx. Yeah, I'm not super great at Mega Minx, but this actually looks interesting as a budget sculpted Mega Minx option. I'm interested to see how this is going to work out. Do need to grab a knife here quickly because there's some tape holding it closed here. So, like I said, I'm not super great at Mega Minx. I mean, I average like 3 minutes if I actually practiced, which I haven't practiced in a long time. But basically, it solves like a 3x3, but with extra F2L and all that. I'm interested in this one. First off, as you can see, it has kind of like, I don't know if you call it sculpted or what, sculpted corners and then standard edge pieces. And first impressions, first turning, wow, that is actually really impressive. Okay, so actually, I think my favorite budget Mega Minx on the market right now is the Yushin Little Magic V2, and this turns just as smooth as that. It feels surprisingly stable. Wow, my first impressions on this, actually, I'm very impressed. I'm no good at Mega Minx, like I said, but this feels almost as good as any that I've tried before. I've never tried a Galaxy, but wow, let's just quickly check corner cutting here. Corner cutting is about 45 degrees normal, and reverse, not much reverse, just a little bit of reverse. Let's check the mechanism quickly, and there you go. That's very, very similar to most Mega Minx mechanisms these days. Like the Chi, is it the Chi Zhang or the Chi Hang? I think it's the Chi Hang S Megaminx, it has a very similar mechanism to that. See if I can get it to focus there. As you can see, so very, very basic mechanism, but all in all, I am very impressed with this out of the box. It's better than the Qihang out of the box. And is it better than the Galaxy? I doubt it, because that's a more expensive Megaminx, but overall, so far, I would completely recommend this Megaminx to any beginners, anybody who wants to try and get into Megaminx. This is so far a very good one. It has a good weighty feel to it. It doesn't feel too cheap. The corner cutting is good, and all in all, the turning on this is really good. It's stable, unlike some that I've tried, and just all in all, wow, it's fast, it's smooth. I'm thoroughly impressed with this. As for the shades, it's a very standard scheme, but they also seem to be a bit brighter than normal shades. Dark green, darker purple, everything else seems, I don't know. I mean, see the shades, judge for yourself. There it is, the Cyclone Boys Megaminx, and that is actually fairly impressive. I think that comes in at around $7. So for that price, it's very, very good. Also, I just noticed I have another Cyclone Boys 2x2 here, and just if I turn it compared to that, I believe this one has about the same mechanism as that one. This is one of the more modern releases. The older Cyclone Boys 2x2s, kind of like this one right here, definitely had a different mechanism in, because this one feels a lot different. So all in all, I'd say this one, if you like these sculpted Cyclone Boys well broken in, this one out of the box feels about like that, and it's pretty good. Okay, so that's it for the Cyclone Boys puzzles. Let's get into some more here. As you can see, next up, we have a Cuber's Home Yan 3M. I really like the Yan 3. I have one, but I haven't used it a lot recently, so I decided to pick up another one. I mean, that's always the smartest idea. But anyway, the Yan 3 is a really good cube. It was a bit underappreciated when it was released, and this one here is a little bit dusty from the type of box it was sent in. A tad bit dry out of the box, but actually it feels pretty good. Cuber's Home does a good job on this cube. Very, very light magnets. I'd say this would be a really good one-handed main for a lot of people. I mean, if you can stand like a normal 56 or 55.5 millimeter cube for one-handed with the lighter magnets, this really is pretty much like a one-handed out-of-the-box main. I am not a fast one-handed solver, but that's just my impression on it. For normal solving, if you really like light magnets, I think this could be a good choice. It's a fairly light cube, and all in all, it turns very, very well. Let's see, corner cutting here is about full. Yep, full corner cutting. Just quickly check the tensions here. I don't know. I really like this cube, and I think it is definitely underappreciated in the cubing market. As you can see, line-to-line reverse, and obviously full corner cutting. So that is really, really good. This is the Yancheng Yan 3. My camera stopped recording somewhere in there. This is the Yancheng Yan 3. All in all, it competes very well with a lot of the top speed cubes today. The CH version has a little bit lighter magnets that I'd like for standard solving, but for one-handed, I think that would actually be pretty good. Okay, so next up here, I'm going to see if I have any more of these in here before I unbox these. Okay, and I think that's it. These are two Shengshao Gem Cubes, the 5-gem Magic Cube and the Pyramid Magic Cube. Why is it called a 5-gem? I guess that would be Megaminx. That's what they call the Megaminx there in the gem lineup. But anyway, this is the Shengshao Gem Megaminx and Pyraminx. As you can see, it comes in some sort of plastic wrapping. And then it is just a Shengshao Gem Megaminx. I actually haven't tried this one out yet, so that's why I ordered it. Like I said, I'm not fast at Megaminx, but wow, this one is really not that great out of the box. Ooh, I think it's just really, really tight. That's how a lot of these tend to come, and yeah, that's not a good first impression. I mean, that didn't break. As you can see there, a corner stock actually popped off, or a quarter piece popped off the stock there. So I'd assume that a lot of these are going to need to be glued down if it pops off that easily. Yeah. Okay, so first impressions on this are very, very poor. But could it get better with setup? I think it probably could. This will probably compete with some of the good Shengshao Megaminxes on the market. Not the Pearl, but like the older ones. I think was a Shengshao Aurora Megaminx. I'd assume this is going to be the same as this. See, when I turn the orange side, this one's actually pretty smooth. The Shengshao Gem series tends to be a set of very, very smooth puzzles, but they don't have a lot of quarter cutting and not a lot of frills. All in all, they're pretty good, but wow, that first impression was really bad. I think this cube needs some bad tensioning. It needs some tensioning bad, and it also needs to have these corners glued together. So yeah, I can't recommend this one on the box, but it's good for the collection, and that's exactly why I bought it. That is the Shengshao Gem Megaminx. It turns pretty smoothly. It turns like any other Shengshao Gem cube, but it does have some apparent flaws straight out of the box. Okay, and next up here, another one that I don't expect to be crazy good is the Shengshao Gem Pyraminx. I actually haven't watched any unboxings or impressions on this cube, so I really don't know what to expect. But just from my knowledge of Shengshao and Pyraminxes, I can't imagine this one's going to be super fantastic or anything more than a budget option or beginner option. And yeah, I'd say it'd be a good beginner option. It is a lot faster out of the box than the Shengshao Megaminx, Shengshao Pyraminx, and it also has ball bearings, so there is that. But yeah, it's not even as good as the Yushin Little Magic Pyraminx. So it is what it is. That is the Shengshao Gem Pyraminx. Great for beginners, but not good for anybody who's like, I don't know, sub 20 at Pyraminx, sub 15 at Pyraminx. I don't know what's slow these days. I'm like sub 12, so I guess take that as you will. Nope, not super great, but cool for the collection nonetheless. I like the textured plastic on those Shengshao Gem cubes. Okay, next up here, we have a Cuber's Home cube, and I believe this is a Yushin Little Magic M, this time in the, I don't know, what do you call it, the frosted stickerless plastic, and wow, that is really, really nice. I like the Little Magic, and I decided to get a Cuber's Home magnetic version in stickerless. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not, but the Little Magic in stickerless has a frosted texture, very similar to like the Warrior W and other similar ones, a little bit more subtle than that one. But if you like that feel, and it actually helps your grip, which it does for me. Get this camera to focus here again. If you like the frosted plastic and it helps your grip like it does for me, like if you like the GAN 249 V2 plastic, that's about how this feels. And wow, the Little Magic never ceases to disappoint. Never ceases to amaze me how good it is. Full corner cutting out of the box. It feels a little bit cheap, but I mean, that's to be expected. And also a bit fast from Cuber's Home. The magnetic cubes from Cuber's Home really have me impressed, as they are pre-lubed and they also seem to be magnetized very well. Very professional on their part, and a very good deal for what you're getting. So, basically, it's just another Yushin Little Magic. Very, very good, as usual, and all in all, a very good cube. Cool. Decided to get one stickerless, though, because I don't have one of those yet. And next up here, this is actually kind of an oddball cube. As you can see right here, it looks like a normal cube. I'm sure you've already seen it, but it has a timing module in it. I'm not sure if anybody saw my old unboxing of one of these timing cubes. It was a long time ago, but I got one of the first ones when they first came out, and it's really an odd design for a cube. First of all, this one is not super well lubricated out of the box, but this one definitely turns a lot better than that first timing cube. That one kind of looked like a Chi Dimension. This one is actually in stickerless, which is interesting, but basically this has a timer built in. It's not super convenient to use. Basically, you hold this down till it makes a little beep sound, and then when you let go, it starts timing. No, you have to hold it down again, and then it has a countdown. Whenever you let go, then it starts timing. You do your turns or whatever, and then you stop. Oop. Then you press the timer. See how I kept flicking it by accident? But anyway, that's it, and then you can reset it with that. So anyway, let's do a quick scramble of this and try out the timer just to see how well it works. But this is basically just a better version of the first model timing cube, which came out a little while ago. Also, this cube does come with a replacement edge piece, or replacement corner piece, I should say, to replace the timing module if you just want a normal speed cube. And as a speed cube, this cube actually isn't bad. I'm not sure what mechanism this has in it. It looks something like a YJ/Moyu mech, but it's a little bit different than that. Very, very basic, but it turns really, really well. Corner cutting, about 45 degrees, normal, and just a little bit of reverse. It turns like any other really good budget cube. I mean, not as good as like the top end ones, like the Yushin Little Magic or the MF3RS2, but it's pretty good for what it is. Okay, so anyway, let's get this solve underway. Let me hold down my timing module here and see if I remember what I was going to do exactly, because I did inspection, but I forgot about it. Okay, let's try this out. And I did kind of forget my inspection, so the solve is not going to be super great, but let's just get right into this here. Cube turns very, very well. So this is way better than the first timing cube, in my opinion. Also, it does beep at 10-second intervals, so that's kind of interesting. It'll tell you when you're at like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, etc. There was 20 seconds, and if I can find the button, there it is, 22.58. See if I can get that to focus there, 22.58. So a little bit inconvenient to use, but if you don't have a timer, if you don't want to use a phone timer, it is an interesting cube, and this one is much more compelling than the first model, which really didn't turn all that well. This one's actually pretty stable, and reminds me kind of like a MF3RS, the first model. So, I don't know. I'd suggest if you can find one of these fairly cheap and you want a timer in your cube, pick it up. There it is. Okay, next up here, we have a YJ ball cube. This one's kind of odd. I have seen other people get these before, so I'm a little bit late to the party. But this one has an interesting look to it for a 3x3, and it probably has a standard YJ mechanism. Wow, that feels really weird and also feels really cheap. So I'd assume that would break fairly easily just from my initial thing. It almost feels like bouncy balls. I mean, they don't feel quite, the plastic feels a lot different. First of all, it's a bit textured, and secondly, it just feels a lot different than anything I'm used to. Wow, that is a really weird feeling cube to solve. Let me quickly scramble this up and try to do a solve on this. This is going to be pretty much the last one for this video. So turning on this is not horrible, but it's not super great. I mean, due to the ball design, obviously this cube is going to be a bit unstable. Corner cutting is not super great because it has to be tight enough because of the ball design so the pieces don't fall out. But I don't know, unless you're trying to collect this cube, you want it for display, or you just want an interesting looking 3x3, I really couldn't recommend this. But it definitely is an oddball cube to add to your collection, and let's get right into the solve of this thing here. Recognition's not too bad, but it definitely does feel a bit weird to turn just because, you know, I mean, it's a ball cube. See one piece splitting right there, but that's fairly normal with these. So turning, all in all, isn't horrible, but it's definitely not up to, like, main status. But I don't see why anybody would even consider using this as their main. But all in all, it's a kind of interesting, I don't know, shape mod of a 3x3, if you could call it that. It has some interesting characteristics. Let's see if I can do an F-perm here. And I'm not sure. I might have messed that up because I do it too slow. Okay, no, never mind. Or maybe... Oh, I got it. Okay. That was really bad. But anyway, a little piece of separation there. It's an odd cube. If you like the look of it, pick it up. Otherwise, it's more of a novelty item than anything else. Okay, so next up here, we have another Cuber's Home bag. I'm actually not sure what's going to be in here, but let me take a look at this here quickly. As you can see, it comes with some Cuber's Home cards, and also a screwdriver, extra magnets, and a Chi stand. Okay, cool. Seems to be some extra stuff here. As you can see, for some reason here, I actually got 2 Yen 3 M cards. So that's cool. Cube cards don't come with a lot of cubes these days anymore, so it's cool to see that Cuber's Home is actually doing that. And I can't say that most will include those, but there they are. And as you can see, here are the last 3 things in the box. So first 2 of these are actually from the U section of Puzzle Cuber's site. And this is a Kong's Design Scube. I'm not good at Scube, but I decided to get this for the collection. I believe it's the Mei Chang Scube. If you can hear, they're very, very loud. This is a ball-bearing Scube, and I can't expect this to turn super well. It turns about as well as like a Moyu original Scube or something like that. I'm not good at Scube at all, so I really couldn't tell you. But there it is. It's a Mei Chang Scube for the collection. And next up here, we have a Rubik's Snake. It's actually a cube I've never had before, and first of all, it's not a twisty puzzle per se. It is a snake cube, or snake ball, or snake, or whatever. It folds out into a straight line, and then you can turn it into a ball and a variety of other designs. I just have never had an actual Rubik's brand snake. I've had the Sheng Shao and a bunch of other ones there, but I decided to get a Rubik's brand just for the collection. As you can see, it says Rubik's right there, and as you can see, it's very colorful on one side and colorful on the other. One side with a black border and one side with a gray. Let's do a quick speed solve of this snake, as I'm a professional snaker, and the Rubik's snakes are the best on the market. So let's quickly try this out. Gotta do that. You do the flip, and then you do the twist, and the twist, and the flip, and the twist, and there you go. And then you're almost to Snake Town. And here we go. And now, let's see. Oh, yeah, bad catch. Oh, man. Oh, this is a horrible solve. Okay. It's a Rubik's Snake. I had a bad catch there at the end. Otherwise, that would have been like a, I don't know, world record or something. But anyway, that is the Rubik's Snake. Kind of cool. Decided to get one of those. Next up here, we have, again, 249M. And actually, I expected this to be a 249 V2M. Is this really a 249 original M? Nope. It says on the back, 249 V2M. So, it's funny how this is a GAN 249M box, even though it doesn't say V2 on it. Apparently it's a V2, it says so on the barcode. But either way, this is a V2M. I have one already. I decided to get extra. These boxes are always hard to get apart. Why is that? Why are these boxes so tough? Ah, there you go. Okay. So let's pull this out of here, do some first turns. Again, 249 V2M is definitely one of the best on the market. I wouldn't say it suits everybody's turning style, mainly due to the smaller size and the matte plastic, but it's a good cube. And this one actually, out of the box, feels a bit different than my other one. I like that. It's interesting, though. Like I've noticed with the Gogwan Zing Hen, The magnetic version sometimes feels different than the standard, which is weird. These are both magnetic, but this one feels a lot smoother, a lot less catchy out of the box. Mine has a lot of catching issues, which I don't know why that is exactly, but this one does not seem to have those. So this is actually nicer than the other one I have. Well, that's cool. I'm doing full CLL right now on 2x2, so I guess I can start using this and get some good times. So there it is, an extra GAN 249 V2M. Best 2x2 on the market? Maybe for some people. Best 2x2 on the market? Completely undisputed? Definitely not. But there it is. It's very, very nice. Turns well. The black stickered version is actually coming out pretty soon, so I'm sure some people will be interested to get their hands on that. And there it is, another GAN 249 V2M. So like I was saying, the timing cube, last piece in the box here except for one. This is the extra corner, which goes in here to replace the timing piece. So if you want to have a normal cube, you can take out the timing piece and it's all the same. So that's cool that they include that. Let me just quickly dig around the box here and make sure I didn't miss anything. And it looks like I did actually. I have a little mini screwdriver thing, which I don't know what that's for, but that came with one of the cubes, I assume. So that's nice to get along with that. Might go with the Cuber's Home Cube or something like that. And last but not least, we have a Cubes from PC t-shirt. And you can't see that, so let me zoom out here a little bit and then I'll do the outro. Okay, so that was a pretty big, crazy unboxing from Cubes from PC, my sponsor. I'm pretty sure I inserted something at the beginning of the video, but if I didn't, make sure to use my coupon code KSCuber at checkout, all one word, to save 5% off your order from CubesFromPC.com. CubesFromPC.com is a great and new upcoming cube store from the US. They have really fast shipping, and they also have the cheapest prices currently on cubes from the US before sales and all that. So go check them out. I'll put the links in the description, and also check out Puzzle Cuber here on YouTube. She runs the store, Cubes from PC, and I really like what they're doing with the whole store. Obviously, they're my sponsor, so that's super great. Here's that shirt, and I'm just going to change into that quickly. As you can see, it actually is a really nice material. I'm surprised. Just other shirts I've got in the past. This is from Custom Ink, design t-shirts online, and printed on Gilded Ultra Cotton. Feels very, very nice. Let me change that real quick. And there we go. Let's see if I can actually get like a quick pan down there. And if I turn around, maybe you can see that back there. But it looks pretty good and feels pretty good. I'm actually really liking the design. It kind of reminds me of like Cubert or an older thing. It's very cubic. And as you can see, the fit is pretty good. This is a medium. I usually wear small, so it's a little bit large, but fits pretty well. So anyway, thank you so much to Cubes from PC for sending me these cubes here. I did buy some of them, and then they include some for free, so that is very appreciated. Like I said, make sure to check them out. Also, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Check me out on Instagram. I do a lot of stuff on there. KS_Cuber, just about to hit 3,000 followers over there. Okay, we're not just about to hit it, but so far my trend has been up and up, and I think I'm just at like 2,700 followers on there. 3,000 is coming soon, so make sure to follow me on there. Thanks for watching. KSCuber out. Goodbye.